For this project, I grab a piece of stock walnut that I have laying around the shop. It's 1 inch thick by 4 1/4 inches wide by 18 inches long. And I measure down 5.5 inches from the end, which will include the miter cut at 45 degrees. Before I cut the bottom section off this piece of stock wood, I measured a line down 2.5 inches, and then from the top, as you can see here, I'm measuring in 1 3/8 of an inch in on either side. I'm then connecting the marks that I made at 2.5 inches down with the marks that I made at 1 3/8, and I'm going to cut along those lines to create a taper for the bottom of the stand. With the bottom cut out, I now measure in 1 inch from the edge of the taper to the beginning of the miter cut and draw a line across. This will serve as the center point for the 2 holes that we're going to drill to hold the stoppers. I then measure 1 inch in from either side, and we're going to use a 7/8 inch bit to cut 2 holes all the way through. Now we're putting them all the way through just in case there's any moisture or liquid on the stoppers. It'll allow it to drain all the way through. With the holes for the stoppers drilled, I find the midpoint in the base and scribe a line from top to bottom. I'm then going to mark about 1.5 inches down, which is the spot that I'm going to use to put a piece of 1/4 inch steel in place that'll hold the aeration device. And so I'm going to take a 1/4 inch bit, drill out that hole, and at the end of the project we'll insert the piece of steel rod. With the remaining wood, I make another miter cut at 9 inches down, which will serve as the side of the holder here. I'm now going to make a pocket for the argon cylinder, and the way that I'm doing that is bracing the wood for my shopsmith so that I can take a 7/8 inch drill bit and core a hole right through the center at 4.5 inches down. Now this is going to be difficult unless you have a drill that will allow you to drill sideways like this, and one that has a throw that's going to be a minimum of 4 inches. With the hole cored through the center of the side piece of wood here, I use a 1.5 inch Forstner bit to drill a hole all the way through this side piece, which will allow me to access the hole that I just cored through the side with the 7/8 inch bit. With the hole drilled, I bring over to the router and use a 3/4 inch bit to essentially mill a small channel for the argon cylinder. You'll notice that I'm using a stop at the end of my router table, so I know exactly how far to push the piece of wood to create the channel. With the remaining piece of walnut, I drill a 1/4 inch hole 1 3/4 inches down from the non-mitered side of the wood and center it. In front of the hole I just drilled, I bring over to the drill press and at a slight angle take a 1.5 inch Forstner bit and make a hole. These 2 holes will be used to cradle the Coravin device. Now it's time to glue up the frame. I'm using some painter's tape along the edges just so that I don't make a mess with the glue. And one thing I did forget to mention is I did quite a bit of sanding before I got to this glue process that I don't have on camera, so apologies about that. I decided to make a miter cut along the edge of the stand here just to give it a slightly more tapered contour and appearance. So I'm taking about a 1/4 inch off, starting at 5.5 inches down, and just using my miter saw to cut along the edges. Now I'm tapping in the 1/4 inch steel rod that I mentioned before that'll be used to hold the aerator. Now the final step of the project, and my favorite step, is taking this stand over to the spa for a bath of food grade mineral oil. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget to check out my shop on Etsy.com under Industrial Comfort. Thanks.